Okay, so I just walked up the road from McDonald's. You can see the Ficus subcarpa in the distance peeping out from behind the building, right? And here, look at this beauty here, right? So this is our old friend Ficus microcarpa, all right? As I mentioned before, about 35, 40 years old probably. This is what you get, and let's have a closer look at it. I'll just move in on the foliage a little bit so that you can see, you can see what the foliage is like. I mean, weirdly, it seems to be growing new growth at the moment, which is a bit daft. I mean, it's January, but I think because the climate is, warming and cooling, and the winters have pretty well seem to have gone to pieces in Hong Kong in recent years. So they kind of grow and stop growing when they feel like it, really. One of the distinctive things is the aerial roots. You can see the aerial roots here hanging down. Of course, if they get into the ground, let's see what happens when they do get into the ground. Okay, let's have a little close up here. Now you can see that the tree directly in front of me, right, the tree was actually planted in a tree pit, but the roots have completely engulfed the tree pit and it's escaping. Look at those roots trying to get down through cracks through the expansion joints in the concrete. And this one has, the aerial roots have invaded the planting, the planting area next to it. You can see that stone wall, dwarf wall planting area, and the aerial roots have come down from the branches, and because there's very little maintenance here, they don't really bother with this, and so those aerial roots have come down, rooted in the soil in the planting area, and now they're busy engulfing that whole planting area. So you can really see why this thing is called it's a strangler, right? Strangles everything that's in the way. Let's have a look at this one over here. There's another one. So this one again was planted in a tree pit, right? I mean, if you plant a Ficus microcarpa in a tree pit, I mean, forget it. It's just going to get out. Look at that root running along the bottom of the wall there. Amazing. And again, you can see how all the aerial roots have come down where they can. They are rooting in the planting area, in fact busting you can see they're pushing the stones aside. I mean, this tree means business, It's just, it's really taking advantage of everything that's around it. The other thing, of course, you can see masses of bird poo, right? These trees in the evening, it's not late enough yet, but in the evening these trees fill up with literally hundreds and hundreds of birds, and they make an incredible amount of noise, right? Look at this tree here. Look, it was originally planted there in the tree pit, and again the aerial roots have got into the planting area, and so you can see how this tree could actually walk across the landscape. Now, the only reason these other little aerial roots have not come down to the ground and got into these cracks in the pavement, of course, is because people walk underneath them, cleaning them, cutting the roots back, right? So Ficus microcarpa, absolutely magnificent tree, but as I was mentioning, the problem is, this fills up with birds in the evening, just about dusk, screaming madness. And you don't really want that right next to where you're living, And of course, in these days of heightened flu awareness, you also don't really want to have masses of bird poop all over your landscape area. So you need to be able to anticipate these things, right? These trees are fantastic, but they need a lot of space.